Yo, what's going on today, guys? It is Sam, better known as Samito. Welcome back to the channel today for the Ultimate Sojourn Guide, the first of many Ultimate Guides that I'm going to be making for Overwatch 2. I made a promise to be the best educational YouTuber on the platform. I'm going to do everything I can to teach you guys about the game and teach you guys the things that other streamers aren't really able to teach you who don't have the pro play experience, who have not been, GM1 in this case on every role except for Tank. I need to get there, man. I'm so close. We would be I'm pretty sure we would be rank 1 combined right now, as here we would be at GM2. Oh, this is Tank, not combined. Oopsie days. It says GM2 combined. I should be GM1 combined. I'm so close, and here's the actual ladder because GM3 is rank 1. But we're getting there, guys, and I want to give you guys that knowledge to help you learn about Overwatch. So let's talk about Sojourn and what you should be looking to do as Sojourn in Overwatch 2 to win. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. She's a mechanically intensive hero, but I'm going to teach you guys what you need to learn to make your job easier, because Overwatch and these hard heroes, it's not about being the big playmaker like the GM players you see all the time. It's about consistency, and being consistent in Overwatch 2 is the most important thing. And to help your consistency, I have a settings change for Sojourn that helped me a ton that I think Blizzard kind of dropped the ball on in terms of how they bound the controls on the character. So it's really trial and error for you if you like this, but this saved me so much and it made my accuracy get way higher. Okay, the most important thing about Sojourn is that railgun, right? But it's bound on the secondary fire, which is the right click. But in most games, your primary fire is what you're used to aiming with. That's what your muscle memory, whether you be on controller or mouse and keyboard, is used to. So what I did is I flipped the primary fire and the secondary fire, which this normally would be on my left click. I bound it to my right click. So this fire is on my right click, and the most important shot you need to hit, the railgun, is on my left click, right? And that helped my aim so much because I've played on mouse and keyboard for 10 years with those kinds of controls, and it helped me adapt way better. So that's thing number 1. Number 2 is understanding the breakpoints of the railgun, okay? So the railgun will one-shot any squishy in the head as long as you have 81 charge or higher. Ready? Let's see if I can get this. Ready? 85, one shot, right? But let's see 80. Well, that's 85 again. Let's take a look at 80. Let's see if I... This is the tough part about making these guides sometimes is, it gets a little tough. And there's 80, right? So as long as you're 85, or I think it's 82 is the exact breakpoint, 83, you will one-shot in the head. So understanding that that's what your breakpoint is an important part about the character. Number 2 is the rhythm of the character when actually dueling 200 HP targets. So watch how I duel these targets. You don't always have to get up to that 80 on the railgun, right? If you're shooting in the body and building up charge and you get them to half health, the breakpoint actually changes. So like, look at how I'm just getting them a little bit low and bursting down these targets. That time to kill, even if you're not hitting the headshots, is still one of the most, if not the most competitive time to kill in the game, given what her mobility is capable of, given the fact that you can slow down these targets first while doing damage to them, right? So that's the really big thing there, is understanding that you don't always have to get it to that 80 plus charge and aim for the head. Because a lot of players sit there as Sojourn and they think, well, I can't hit the headshots, I can't play the character. That's not true. As long as you're able to consistently put out damage just by dueling and hitting body shots, the character is still incredibly valuable and incredibly threatening. I'm going to show you guys some clips now about what you should be looking to do to set up these duels, but I want you to sit in the practice range just for 5-10 minutes and get used to the tempo of how you need to be dueling people with just hitting body shots, right? Alright guys, let's take another look at a fight and how you should initiate as Sojourn to create picks and get yourself an opportunity. So we're going to mute the audio real quick, or we're going to turn it down a little bit. So as the fight starts, I look to their most important part of the choke point as the Reinhardt, and I put my slow there, right? I'm going to say, Ryan, if you want this space, you're going to have to push through this slow. You're going to get me a ton of ult charge, and it's going to cost a lot of resources for your team. The second after that, he's pushed through. I see my Ryan set up on the right. So I'm not going to stack with my Reinhardt because I know their Ryan is probably going to match my Ryan. So I walk to the left, because if he is here looking this way, that means a lane is going to be open for me to shoot on the left side. I recognize this, right? So if my Ryan's here, they want to push point, I create this crossfire, and that is the most important thing as DPS. So I want everyone at home to memorize this, think about it, and honestly, if you learn this, it'll help you win on any role in the game. Create crossfire. So look at what happens because I do this. My Ryan gets walled. I know that they're going to commit here. So if they're going to commit on my team here, I can not only save my team by punishing them, But I also get an entry pick here because of it. So the Mei, I forced the ice block, which means my Rhine now can get aggressive because their wall is about to drop. They pushed with high tide. Now, because they pushed with high tide, it's about to be low tide because they have no cooldowns. But I've got the fishing net out, right? I'm ready to catch them because I'm ready. Now it's high tide for me. I have my shift to get out at any point in time I want, so I'm not at risk. And look at what happens. I start shooting the Moira. I know that if I shoot the Moira, these guys, when it's low tide, they won't have the help they need to get out of the fight. So I start shooting the support in the back. I body shot her. I don't even hit the egg shot. I'm bad. I'm an old man, right? I can't see anymore. I have a cane when I walk down in Jimmy John's every day, right? So now they have no Moira. It's low tide for them, and they have no healing. So what I do next is after I've cut them off, I've cut their supply chain off. My team is stabilizing. I'm going to actually slide straight past the Rhine and create another pinch because now that I've created an opportunity for my team to win by getting the entry pick, you can only do this if you've already started snowballing the fight. I slide behind them and look at what I create again. I create another crossfire and I cut off their escape. So I slide in when my nade is coming back. I then nade the ground and look at how I pinch them again. We won this fight because I used Sojourn's mobility to off angle and create two separate crossfires back to back that not only got us the entry pick, but also cleaned up this fight perfectly and got me 2 more, right? And I didn't hit a crazy headshot. I didn't make a crazy Overwatch League player play. I simply knew, excusez-moi, I just been drinking my Raz, code Samito, down in the description, right? It's very good stuff. And that's how, if you want good aim, you got to Raz up. But I won that off game sense, right? Any Sojourn player can do that, guys. You don't have to be a hero. You don't have to be the best in the world. But if you learn to think like that and create crossfires, because look, engages like this happen on every single map. The important thing is to recognize where your team is and what angles you can set up on, right? I recognize that my team is fighting from this side, so I say, okay, I'm not going to stack. I'm going to make this Reinhardt choose. Are you going to engage on my team on the right side, or are you going to engage on me? Because if he engages on me with the Mei, my Ryan gets to free swing on his backline. So we set them up for a lose-lose because they are all stacked in mid. And then we end up punishing them perfectly for it. So again, engaging as Sojourn, that's what you want to do. Because I take this angle, their backline becomes vulnerable. I cut the legs off from under them, and I put in a ton of damage. Recognize it, slide in after, jump away, build up my time, buy some time, and farm them. And it's clockwork. Just like that, every team fight, chat. All right, let's look at another clip here about how to initiate and find these final blows, which again is the most important part about Sojourn and DPS in general. So we walk out to the point here. I recognize that they have a Pharah. So again, the first thing I look to do is explode out the gate here and take space. So look at this. My team is walking out this choke on the right. They have Exy on their team. It was from the Florida Mayhem and Hawk on tank. So these are 2 Overwatch League players, right? These guys are not bad. So the first thing I recognize that I have to do against these guys is I need to take the space from them. So I commit here while my team is pushing here, and then I use my slow on the choke point. So if they want to push out, they're going to be slowed. I'm going to be able to rail them with damage. 2, we have 2 angles on them now because of what I've forced. So I use 2 big cooldowns, my shift and my slow, to hard commit on the off angle so that I can create space to win against 2 of the best players in this goddamn game. So look at what ends up happening, right? Their Ana gets forced out of the fight to where she can't help Hawk. Their Lucio is forced to either commit back or commit in, and he ends up committing in. And the Pharah is way back over here, who is Cyrus, another Contenders player. So take a look at this. Ready? Lucio 1, we get the Lucio to 1 because we force his commit. The Ana then is forced out of the fight and dies to our Jungler Queen. So we get the kills on both the supports. Exy does Exy things and kills my Sombra. But now, I wish I could show you guys over here. Their whole team is forced out of the fight, so I have to 1v1 the Pharah. Watch this, ready? By the time the Pharah dives on me, my slide is on a 6-second cooldown. I already will have my slide back because of the time I bought myself with my Disruptor and my first slide in the off angle, right? So my slide is back at this point, and I'm able to kill him because of it. Lucio 1 here. Right? So I slide out of danger, get the kill on the Pharah, so we've effectively killed 3 now. We chase the Zarya, who has no heals because of our first couple kills, and then Exy dies, right? So we set up perfectly, and obviously these guys aren't tryharding to the best of their ability. They're much better players than I am, but, you know, this kind of thought process as Sojourn is the most important thing. So we'll watch it again in full speed because I want you guys I'm trying to hammer this home to you guys. This is the most important thing as DPS. And just by setting up like this every team fight, you will win so many more games. So look at this. Ready? We slide to commit for the space. Isolate and disrupt with Disruptor. It forces the Lucio in. We look for the Lucio because we're the one he forced out. My slide is back by the time the Farah tries to duel me. We get the kill onto her, and then we snowball the fight. And that's how you initiate as DPS. And that's how you end up winning as Sojourn, guys. So now we're going to take a look at a clip that I had in a scrimmage with the University of Kentucky, a team that I'm coaching. I had to fill in for this block, but I want you guys to look at what I mean when I say you should look to angle force as much as you can on Sojourn, right? So my whole team is positioned here. The big lane where they're set up is down here. You can maintain railgun charge for up to 8 seconds. So I'm playing the long angle where their team will have to push into my railgun where I have the threat of one-shotting them at any point in time to start off the fight. So look at how this fight unfolds here. I'm staying out of the Zarya's range, and because I'm shooting here, their Moira and their team is getting hard pressured from my Zarya and my Reaper who come from the side. Because I'm holding this angle, they can't run from my team this way. And that's what the power of angle forcing does with Overwatch. I'm playing on the high ground where the Zarya wants to kill me. I still have my slide to slide away. I'll have it in 1 second. I can just walk away, and my team will then collapse on them and punish them for their bad position. So we're setting up here. Look, I'm not even hitting my shots. I'm bad. I'm a washed up old man. Then I slide in to commit forward. We force them out of the fight. I'm looking for the targets here, and I'm just spamming. I'm trying to build my railgun, and this is a huge part of Sojourn, right? Building up the railgun pre-fight, and as long as you are shooting somebody and you hit somebody within like 8 seconds, the charge won't decay. In fact, it'll stay where it is. So I'm trying to build up this railgun and keep the charge so that if somebody peeks me, I get to that 90 point which makes it a one-shot headshot. And now, if any of them lose their discipline, I have the chance to one-shot them like I'm playing Widowmaker straight down there with no scope. Right? So I'm looking for them. I think I missed this here. I do miss it, but either way, I then slow the choke and try to build up another one, right? I shoot the tank a little bit just to build up my charge because the fight hasn't started yet. Build up my ult.
Let's go ahead and play point here.
And we just back to point.
We have plenty of time on the clock.
Yeah. So I'm looking to combine my ult or either start with it here on something. So they're going to walk into mid. This time I'm starting on the left side. I think I end up going back to the right, but either way, they use their ult. I ult from mid, and this is the threat of Sojourn, right? That ability to one-shot at any point in time anybody who peeks around the corner. And you can build up this railgun, whether it be with your ultimate or pre-fight. That kind of shot is what you want to be looking for. As I get the one-shot onto their Sojourn here, the Mei comes in, they get grabbed. I'm slowing my aim down, and then we kill the Moira. We kill the Lucio, the Zarya dies next, and that's a quick, easy cleanup, right? And that's all the power of positioning, building up that railgun. You're able to hold it up throughout the mid-fight, and you should always, before every single fight, I cannot stress this enough, look to charge up that railgun and try to get that one shot. There is nothing in this game as a DPS player more important than an entry final blow, right? If you can end a fight or give yourself an advantage before it even starts by maintaining that railgun charge before the fight and hitting the shot, which I know, you can't bank on hitting it every time, but even if you do it once on each point, that'll save your team 30 to 40 seconds every point. And that kind of consistency is what will get you to climb 400, 500 SR, I guess, an entire skill tier, right? Not just a division, but an actual tier. So again, we force angles from the side, we build up our railgun pre-fight, and we look to get those one-shot kills, especially with our ultimate on those choke points where, again, let's take a look at where their Sojourn was. Where I positioned, where they couldn't see me. Right? So they have to engage on the point, and look at where I'm playing. I'm playing where their entire backline has no clue where I am. So I pop the ult. They can't see me until it's too late. I'm already going to be max charge. So I re-peek when I have max charge. Like this team does not have the time to react to this. They can't react to me in time. So if I hit my shot, they're screwed, which I do, and it's over. We end up cleaning up the fight with a grab. I look for the Lucio, miss that shot, aim for the Moira in the head, and that's easy. That's easy peasy. The Mei goes down too. Light work. I could sit down in a practice range or a VOD review, but I think the best way to go about it is to actually discuss what I'm thinking with live gameplay, man, because nothing's harder to do than read it in the moment. And I'm going to teach you guys, my team does not stop farming these guys, how to read things in the moment. So if the cart's here and my team's here, their team's up here, I'm going to take an angle on the side, right? We see the Sigma here. I see them wrapping over this way. So now what I recognize, the cart's going to be pushing through here. My Widow's going to sit up main. So the off angle I can force so that they're shooting from that way and I'm shooting from this way is on this side. In fact, I'm actually going to flank all the way around here. I'm actually going to flank all the way around here and see what I can find. I'm going to slow and disrupt the Mercy there. And look at what I'm able to do now. I'm behind them. They're under a ton of pressure. And I can just sit here and spam. Nothing too crazy. Now I'm going to get behind the Mercy again. She's going to get low. And look at what I've done. I've forced two separate angles here. Whether my Mercy's here or not, I can still be able to do this. And I can just force them out easily. There's not much pressure on me here. Now look, the Sombra's going to die for it. I've created this off angle. I'm going to slow the Sigma down. I'm going to jump over him and use my flight to get back to my team and win. The most important thing about forcing these off angles on the side is that I don't want to peek and commit on them until I have my shift. My shift and my movement ability is what allows me to get away with this with all this versatility. Because say that I walk back here and I get dove, right? All I have to do is slide back into my team and get back to my supports. So I've created these two separate angles from here, right? And pinch them, and I still have my tools to actually get out of the fight. So now we're going to chase up here and do the same thing. We're going to force the Sombra out. That's one thing for aim tips too. Sometimes enemies will move into your shots for you, and you don't have to hit the big flick. Read their movements, right? Now, there's a Venom mine here. I don't want to hit it. We're going to break it, and we're going to slow the Mercy down. I think the Widow's up there, so I'm going to be careful. Somebody's getting slowed. I'm going to let my Winston go. On the angle on the side, I'm going to try to pressure out the Widow. I'm going to hide. I think I'm actually okay here. I don't think he can actually hit the head shot. Okay, he can. Now I'm going to slide into the Winston bubble. So if I get in trouble, I can easily drop out, and I slow my aim down. Look at this, ready? We're going to slow that Widow. He's going to get stuck there. We're going to slide right into him, get up close and personal, right? And then we're just going to stay on the high ground here. When I don't have my shift, I'm playing much slower, breaking the bubble, seeing what I can find here. I'm going to shoot the Soldier. One. Ana has no nade. I track the nade. I'm going to swipe with the Mercy first. My Mercy left me. That's not great. I thought my Mercy would have been on me, but again, look at what we're capable of with using that high ground. So many Sojourn players don't actually capitalize on the mobility of the character. And on maps that have these high grounds, they never attempt to actually play it. And every single fight, whether it be quick play, whether it be competitive, that's the kind of thought process that you want to go through as a player to actually learning. And I'm looking to do that every fight, no matter what they're playing. As my Widow does kill the Sombra there, we're going to get in the Kitsune as fast as we can, slow down the Winston. And anytime I want to hit a big railgun shot, I'm going to use my slow on their team, right? Because it makes it much easier to actually get the kill. Like I said, it's easier to shoot slower targets, so I'm going to put a slow right on the Ana. She's slowed down now. I'm going to get primal by the Winston, but I'm going to be able to slide back in. And as you can see, guys, I get out of jail free because I'm saving my slide. I'm not going for the super aggressive thing unless my slide is ready. The Overwatch, like, cooldowns are like tides in real life, you know? If it's high tide, you have your cooldowns, and the water is pushing in, right? But if it's low tide, okay, I don't even know what these guys are doing. If it's low tide, I'm backing off. So when I have my shift, and I have my slow, and I have my railgun, it's high tide. I can play super, super aggressive. I think there's a Sombra here. I just heard her. Let's see if I can... No, she's not there. Oh, wait a minute. Is she up here? And again, look at this angle I'm forcing. I'm able to break their translocator for free. I have my slide to get back out, but I'm also behind their team. So if they try to walk out here, look at how much pressure I can put on them. They have to deal with me here and my team. It's going to force the Winston to jump, which is my team tunnel, but they can't actually do anything to me here. Look, what are they going to do? You want to jump my Mercy here? Fine, I'll slow you. She's going to get EMP, which is unfortunate. But now look, my team's dying up there. I have my cooldown to get back out. I force all their stuff here. Turn around, kill the Winston. She's going to be low. Mercy's low now. Mercy one shot now. Mercy's going to die now. I'm going to chase the Sombra out because I have my slide ready. And this is what saving cooldowns and taking those angles is capable of. What are they doing? I'm not even sure what they're doing.
That's my friend, bro.
No friends in this game. All enemies. But it's the same thing. So the Winston's here, right? I'm just staying here, backing up. I can slide in when he jumps out. We use our Kitsune. I got my cooldowns back already. We almost have another one. The Sombra has no cooldown, so I'm waiting for her, and I just kind of sit in here. I still have my slide if I get in trouble. But I actually am going to... Okay. So that's kind of like the basic thought process to dueling as Sojourn is, and taking those angles and forcing them to jump on you. Like, I promise you, if you learn what you're capable of and what you're not as the character, you'll be able to get away with so much. And I hope that kind of rhythm for the character that I wanted to show you guys really helped you all understand a little bit better about what you should be thinking about as you're playing the hero. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me and Sojourn. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know down in the description. A couple other notes. Your railgun charges slower on shields than it does actual players. I kind of assume that people know that, but either way, just a quick note to add that on. And if you guys have any recommendations for the next guide, if you want it to be Genji, if you want it to be Hanzo, comment it down below. And whichever comment is the most upvoted, I will either put out a poll on the channel or on Twitter or on my Discord, all of which you can find down in the description. So if you guys learned something, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would hit that sub button. If you guys want personalized coaching from me, click that join button down below. Member coaching VODs will start going up today or tomorrow. And nothing but love to all of you guys. Thank you so much. Click on screen now to check out the previous video. See y'all later. Peace out.